welcome to Job Barcelona. I'm very pleased to introduce you Anna Creuet, Andre Schellekens. They are from JoinTheDutch, corporate recruitment consultants. Thank you very much for joining and participating in Job Barcelona. We have people connected from Barcelona, from Argentina, from France, from Belgium. So very welcome to everyone. Anna is from Salamanca, Spain, but in fact, she's now working in the Netherlands. She has several years of experience working and studying abroad in countries such as Netherlands, Belgium, Nepal. She has a bachelor's degree in communication and 2 master's degrees in international relations and human resources. Dre has more than 10 years of experience within international and corporate recruitment services in the Netherlands. He's quite knowledgeable about the professional opportunities in the Dutch labor market. The conference they are going to offer us is Boost Your Career in the Netherlands. Explore new opportunities and expand your professional background with an international experience. Are you interested in developing a career abroad in such an international and open country as the Netherlands? If you want to know more about companies who have opportunities there, attend this conference and explore options to start your professional adventure. They will guide us in finding the right company to work for. Thank you very much, Anna and Dre. Whenever you like, you can present, you can say hello and share your screen and start your conference. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Pili, y hola a todos. Muchísimas gracias por uniros una vez más a este webinar a través de Job Barcelona. Gracias a todos también por todas las aplicaciones que hemos recibido estos últimos días, estas últimas semanas, y también queremos agradecer a Job Barcelona una vez más por la gran organización que hacen este año online, pero sigue siendo igual de guay. Bueno, en primer lugar me gustaría presentarme. Muchos de vosotros ya me conoceréis a través de las redes sociales, también por el otro evento que hicimos en julio. Today I think we need to switch to English, even if I love speaking my natural language, Spanish, because here my colleague Dre doesn't speak Spanish.
No, yo solo hablo un poquito de español, but of course we switch to English now, not only for me, but also for you all listening in today, because we feel that if you want to make a move abroad, have an international career, then of course a solid English language is definitely necessary. So we're going to do the full presentation in English. Hope you all can follow.
Yes, that's it. So, as I already mentioned, it's not the first time that we join Job Barcelona. We have been here last July. I did a presentation together with my colleague Frank, but we have been also here last year in Barcelona, where we had the opportunity to meet face-to-face many talented professionals as you. This year it should be this way, but we are going to do it even better. So last time we spoke about JoinTheDutch in details. We presented who we are, what we do. But today, of course, we are going also to present a bit ourselves and our team and our project. But today we would like to introduce you to a topic that might interest you if you are looking for opportunities abroad, in this case, the Netherlands, because it's of course where we are. So JoinTheDutch is a startup company focused in international corporate recruitment, and our aim is to build a bridge to link the Dutch labor market, so companies who are here in the Netherlands, and professional people as you, but people who is looking for job opportunities abroad for an international career. So it's that we do. We love doing that. And yes, if you are looking for international companies, international career abroad, just please connect with us, and we are going to guide you in finding the right company to work for.
Yeah, and adding to that, that's what we do. Maybe also in short, who we are as a person and as a team. So what you see on the slide, we are at 6 persons, and I think it all starts with when you work in international recruitment and try to help people find a challenge abroad, then of course your own team should also be international. Well, you've met Anna, she's from Spain, of course. We also have one more international colleague, Rosella. She's originally from Italy. So yes, ourselves, we're also having a quite good blend of internationals in our own team. We cannot do that only with internationals because, of course, we also need to know about the Dutch labor market. And luckily, we also have 4 native Dutch persons working in our organization. Starting with Frank and Egbert, they founded the organization JoinTheDutch. Lots of knowledge of the Dutch labor market. And together with that, we also have one more colleague, Perrine, and myself already introduced in this meeting. So that's the whole team of JoinTheDutch currently.
Yes, that's we are. So, okay, now you know a bit more about JoinTheDutch, you know the team, but today we want to give you some tips about how the Dutch culture looks like. So, you are probably considering the Netherlands as your next career move, but we want you first to take into consideration some points about how they work, how they interact as people with each other. So if you like, let's start by watching a short video by Bart de Paul, where many international people speak about their impressions working and living here in the Netherlands, because who better than them to share with you these experiences? So let's play it.
I think what summarizes to me the cultural shock is how spontaneous Dutch people aren't.
I actually myself became a little bit like Dutch, so I'm also very direct. But I know in Poland, for example, people, especially towards people who you do not know, you shouldn't sometimes say some things. In the Netherlands, there is no limitation.
For me, it was like coming home. Like when I got to this country and I found out how direct people were, I was like, wow, these are my people.
They tell you what they think. English are notorious for not saying what they mean.
I'm not the kind of person who can catch what the meaning underneath their words, so it's really good for me personally.
When talking to my parents over the phone, sometimes I explain things like in a very direct and short way, most efficiently as possible. Oh, yeah. They ask me back, are you mad or something? Are you tired? Because it's, you know, it's just not normal for them, and yeah. I understand that.
I noticed an ad at a train stop for clothes that the slogan was fit in to stand out, and that just caught me as something that I would never see in the US. That would just never happen. The US has so much more of a focus on you doing everything yourself than the Dutch culture.
It seems like they feel more responsible as members of society.
In here, people are just, you know, more easygoing in a way. It's just easier to approach.
Did you experience culture shock when you came here? I don't think people experience that.
Of course, we had some culture shocks. They don't like to share a lot. No, it's one bitterball and one glass of juice.
Oh, they're fun people to have drinks with, I think. They will end up, all drunk and then singing Andrea Hasse's song
till 4 in the morning.
Till 4, yeah.
Also, like in Brazil, we don't have time to finish. So you don't plan anything after, because you're not gonna say to your guest, okay, you know, it's up.
They plan everything. They are very well organized. They put everything on their agendas. So even, okay, let's go out for a drink, and they get the agenda and they say, yeah, okay. It all boils down to the level of respect that people have to each other's time.
You need to be very observant and not expect to just push your values on them, you know. And if you listen and you observe and you watch, you will be able to integrate and be able to work that much quicker with Dutch people, I think. But that's any society.
So I think so far the movie. Why do we show this movie to you? Of course, it's funny to see how people experience working in the Netherlands, working with different cultures and nationalities. But we also think there's a real good truth hidden in this movie, some cultural aspects that you need to consider before you start thinking, hey, should I go and work in a country as the Netherlands? Some good things about our market. I think we have quite a shortage here on the labor market. So I think there's lots of opportunities, lots of jobs available that you as an international professional can get. Another thing that you might know yourself, I think there are quite a number of well-known Dutch companies you can think of, Shell, the big oil and gas company, Heineken, the beer that you all might know, the green beers, but also Philips, Airbus, the plane manufacturer, maybe for the technicians here, ASML, also a really big company founded in the Netherlands. What we experience is people from all over the world applying at a job in the Netherlands without mentioning anything about their motivations, their reason why they would like to have an international career, why they would like to move to the Netherlands. And I think this is key for the success that you will find while applying in the Netherlands. So what we're going to discuss about today is 5 cultural things that we notice that for people coming to our country might not be that well known. So we would like to elaborate a bit further on that.
That's it. Thanks, Dre. Even though before starting speaking about all these points that we are going to present you, we would like to mention that our explanation is based on our own experiences, also on the experience of some international people that we know very well. So that means that these points could change from an organization to another. So please keep in mind that we are going to generalize, okay? Well, the first point that we would like to remark is the directness. So even if I consider Spanish culture as an open and direct, I have to admit that when I moved here in the Netherlands, I thought it was a bit strange how people are direct here. So it's like they don't catch the meaning of the things they want to say, but they do it without any negative purpose. Now I have to admit that I love the fact that people really tell you what they think without any complex and without any fear. They go to the point, even if the feedback that you are going to get is very negative or even bad. And of course, if you are not used to that, as I wasn't, this is a bit of shock, that's for sure. But then you realize that it's something very positive, because this allow you to improve, and also this allow a good communication between you and your colleagues, but also between you and your neighbors or your friends or whatever. So that's a very good point that we would like to remark today. In Spain, we are also direct, I think that, but we use a lot of words. And even myself here in the Netherlands, I keep speaking in a Spanish way, using thousands of words to say something very simple as in summer is hot, right, Dre? So I keep learning.
Yeah, indeed. And if you compare that to the way we behave and the way we talk, especially when we're stressed or having a hectic business day, then we even use less words than we used to. So it might even sound more direct. But a really good benefit of this is that in the Netherlands, not only your boss or your superior will be direct to you, will have feedback to you that way. Also, your friends, your colleagues will be direct to you. And this is definitely something that can help you in your personal development, but also on your development in the job to grow yourself as a business professional. Another point we would like to raise today is the well-known structured and organized way we work. This is also quite typically Dutch. I think a phrase that people might know is time is money. I think this is founded in the Netherlands. We don't like to spend time on chit chat. We don't like to spend any time on beating around the bush, mentioning things that is not on the topic. So that said, this is something you will not only see in a business life. You will not only see this in your daily work, but you can also use this in your private life. How structured and how well organized we use to work we also implement this in our weekends. So this means that you can have many more appointments in your weekend with friends or do more activities.
Well, I'm not sure if they should learn from this point because just to give you all of you an example, each time that I want to grab a coffee with Dre here, it's really like that, always like, okay, Anna, which day, what time, where we should meet. So, okay, they plan everything. Personally, it's something that I like it because I also consider myself a bit Dutch in this way. But if you are not used to that, to this way of being, this could irritate yourself because they plan everything. At the same time, it's because of these strong organizational skills that they have a good balance between job and life because they really know how to make priorities. So that's something good as well. That, yes, we should learn from that. Okay, now I would like to also mention something about the way the companies work here. I'm here since 2 years almost, and the impression that I have is that it's quite easy to approach the people you work with. You don't feel the hierarchy into the organizations. Of course, it depends of the organization once again, but I really like the horizontal and flat structure that the companies have. Here, I can argue with my boss about everything as long as I keep respectful. I also like the fact that I can share my opinions and questions. I like the fact that even if I'm more junior than them, they want to learn from me and they are open to listen to everything that I want to say. To give you an example on how people look at job, sometimes happens that I'm in meetings where maybe I don't know the people very well, and it's a bit challenging to understand who is the big boss, who is the employee. So I think this show how management does not display their power. So yes.
Yeah, here in the Netherlands, a boss doesn't drive per se a big car or displaying a golden watch. That's not the way we work, and we work with each other. And I think the basis of that is also really important because whenever you are happy in your job, that is the basis of delivering good work. So the boss, of course, is also happy when you are happy in your job. You both benefit from that. And I think that's also the basics for, well, giving a little bit more room for personal development, satisfaction in your job. Enjoy what you do.
Yes, indeed. In the video, they spoke about how expat friendly this country is. And yes, I agree with that. Coming to the Netherlands, you are not going to experience a big cultural shock. Of course, if this will be your first experience abroad, you are going to have kind of shock, but this is not because of the country. This is because it's a new experience, and as everything in life, we have to learn, right? So, well, I think, yes, in this sense, it's a friendly country to come over. In the other hand, I have to say that even if I consider the Netherlands and the Dutch people as friendly and open, I have to admit that I miss the part of using food as an excuse to share time with your friends. They also do it, but in a different way. They like much better going for drinks, but maybe in Spain we share tapas, we offer dinner for friends maybe once a week or once a month, whatever. So I miss this part, and of course I miss the Spanish food.
But I think we also have quite good food here, the stroopwafels.
Yes, but well, if you have to choose between the Spanish ham and between the stroopwafels, I think the answer is quite clear, right? I will go for the ham and he will go for the stroopwafels, I think.
Indeed.
Well, yes. And also I would like to mention the big international community that is here in the Netherlands. So easily everyone will speak to you in English. You will find a lot of international people, and yes, they are very friendly, so you are not going to have any issue with them.
And I think there's also a short history lesson behind this, because the Dutch are quite well known for traveling the world. Maybe you know the Dutch East Indian Company. I think somewhere in the 7th century were used to travel the world with a well-known fleet of vessels. trying to get all kind of herbs and textiles all over the world. That's in our DNA, that's our nature. So nowadays, you will still see and find that Dutch people are quite easy in speaking the English language, interacting with different cultures. That's not only as a person, but you will also find that in companies. We are such a small country that we do have to do business with our neighbors, with Germany, with Belgium, but also other countries further abroad. And to do so, they won't speak our language, they won't speak Dutch, so we of course have to adapt in that matter, and we will speak English with them.
Yes, and they do it. We already mentioned that here we can face a good balance between work and life and personal life, but well, let's be honest, not everything is positive because the weather and the foods, in my opinion, are not the best things that you are going to get here coming to the Netherlands. But in the other hand, if you are working here, you can easily afford a ticket and go back for a weekend, for a week, on holidays to your home country, and visit your family and eat your food, and yes.
Enjoy your holidays even better.
Yes, that's it. So I think if you get a good job here as a highly educated professional, your costs in this country and your incomes are quite off balance, and this gives you some freedom. And this freedom also happens at job because here you are, let's say, free to manage your own time. It could happen that in some big international companies, they give you the flexibility to do your job whenever you like, let's say, as long as your job is done. They are pretty flexible on that. And this is something that I really appreciated here. They believe on you, and as long as you do it, it's fine.
Yeah, and that of course counts for all the 21st century companies. Of course, we also do have some more old-fashioned companies over here. But as long as you show your value to your employer, then of course you get the freedom that you need in your job.
Yes. Some other aspects about living in the Netherlands that we would like Dre and myself to speak about it. Well, as a expat person living here, I consider the Netherlands as a safe country to live. I like how clean and how organized everything is. And I also like the open mindset that Dutch people have about many topics. I also consider them as a responsible society, so it's quite comfortable living here. Also, I like the fact that if you need to look for any kind of information about your life here, it could be taxes, it could be your health insurance, it could be the insurance of your car, whatever, you can easily find this information in English. And also the administration process are quite limited here if we compare this with other countries. However, I have to say that I don't like the fact that here we pay a lot of taxes.
Yes, that's true. Our tax system is quite high. But as an international working in the Netherlands, you can also apply for the 30% ruling. Ask us later if you need to know more about that. Another thing to mention about the taxes is that, of course, you will also get benefits from it. Our infrastructure is quite well, I can say. And also you have some social security. So whenever you lose your job, there is always some money that you will receive from the government to make sure that you can pay your rent and you can still buy yourself food. Another great thing to mention is the amount of airports. You know that the Netherlands is quite small as a country. I think you can live in every corner of our country, and without driving for an hour, you will have an airport there, which again makes it quite easy to travel back home, just fly home again for a little amount of money.
Yes.
So enough about the cultural differences and the cultural aspects that we wanted to mention. Maybe it's also good to mention how we can help you in this case, help you to come and start your career in the Netherlands. So what we do as Join the Dutch, I think to start with is we will always go for a customized recruitment solution for you. Every person is unique. Every person has his own ambitions, his own characteristics, and we will try to have a discussion with you to find out what that is and how that will be a great match with what kind of company in the Netherlands. So that's always the basic of what we do in our recruitment services.
Yes, we have also to know that we are a team of 6 recruiters who has a lot of experience in the Dutch labor market. So our network here is quite big. So that's allow us to help you in finding a good company to work for. So yes, it's that we can also offer you, but also it's important to adapt your CV to the Dutch labor market. So it's something where we can also support you, giving you some tips and tricks. And also we can, for sure, helping you out preparing your interviews for your, yes, for the positions that you would like to apply.
Yeah, and keep in mind, all the advice that we give is typically Dutch, direct. It will help you definitely to get a Dutch-proof resume.
Okay, I will be a bit more soft then. I will try. Okay, so that is how Join the Dutch can help you. If you would like to hear more about that, you send us an email.
Yeah. Then final part, a bit more about the people who already did this trip before you. So people who joined us in the Netherlands, started working here. 2 things I'd like to mention about that. First, look at the map. I already mentioned the Netherlands is quite small, but I do think we have a big diversity of cities and a big diversity of industries. As an international, we see that a lot of people are focusing on Amsterdam, which is understandable because, of course, Amsterdam is a well-known city, it's our capital. But on the other hand, it's also quite crowded. The taxes and the rents are quite high over there. So finding yourself in an apartment or a room might be quite difficult. So also keep a good eye on the other cities. For example, Rotterdam, which is one of the biggest harbors we have in the world and in Europe. You will find a lot of industry over there, a lot of marine-related companies, which might be really interesting. And it's also a beautiful city to live, I can say myself. Eindhoven, for example, the Brainport area, a really highly innovative, high-tech environment where we have a lot of technical startups, but also a lot of mature high-tech companies to work for. So please don't only focus on Amsterdam.
Yes, and if you want to hear a bit more about the history of all of these people who already joined the Netherlands, please feel free to go to our website because there you can read the full testimonial from all of them. Now that we already are in our website, we would like to invite you to visit our career page where we can find all the job offers that we currently have. We are going to also keep posting new ones in the next coming weeks and months and so long. So also please take into consideration that if you don't find the job that you are looking for, please send us your open application with your CV and a small cover letter explaining about your ambitions and your motivations. And we are going to have a look at that together with the full team, and we are going to come back to you and try to help you out if we can. So yes, just to let you know that. And then, of course, to keep updated about our job offers and about our news, follow us on our social media channels. We are in Instagram, we are in YouTube, on Facebook, and also, of course, in LinkedIn, with where we share all our job offers.
Yeah, and not only about job offers, but also to find some fun facts about the Netherlands or to get some more tips about how to improve your resume, how to apply, etc. You will find way more than only jobs at our socials.
Yes, that's it. So please feel free to follow us and to send us an email if you like as well.
That was it. And I think we will hand over here our speech
to all your questions.
Thank you so much, Anna, Andre, for this presentation. I think I am going to apply. I mean, you have presented a country. You have presented a country like a super interesting and nice. There is a question here first that they are asking if the profile of the people, as Job Barcelona is very focused on junior talent and university talent, they are asking if this is open also to any type of profile. I mean, senior and not only university talent. I mean, which kind of profiles do you help to find out an opportunity in the Netherlands?
Yeah, really good question. I think we can answer that really honestly that we have, our country is offering opportunities basically for starters, really senior professionals, but also for people in all kind of industries. It really depends, of course, on your own motivation as well. But yeah, there are many opportunities here to be found. And I think we should always focus on what is the ambition of that person and how can we match that with the right company and the right place to start working.
Yes, I think to be fully honest on this topic, I think, of course, some years of experience will help to help you finding a good job here. But of course, we have also sometimes very junior roles. And as long as your English is solid, as long as you are motivated to leave your home country, to go abroad, I think the rest we can try to help you out. Yes, so, and then in terms of the backgrounds, I think they already explained it. I would like to remark that here maybe the most part of the jobs that we have are for technical backgrounds, but we have also have other kind of backgrounds as well. So just send us your CV, we are going to have a look, and then we are going to come back to you. And if we cannot help you, we are going to tell you that directly.
Thank you so much. I would like if you could stop sharing the screen so people can see you better.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you this before, sorry.
No,
we have a question here from Nuria. He's saying that when you have explained that if you are from another country going there to work, you are asked to pay only 30% of taxes or something like that. She's asking if you can explain a little bit further.
Yeah, I think we can. Like we said, our tax system, and we know that as a country, might be quite high. Since we also have a shortage and we would like to help people and also motivate people to come to our country to work, our government is currently offering, a certain ruling that as an international professional coming here as a knowledge migrant, that you have to pay less taxes. So then it will be 30% of that taxes paid over your income. It is a rule that is currently being offered by the government. We cannot provide it ourselves. The government is doing that. So as long as the government is providing it, you can apply for that rule and we will help you as well in that process.
Yes, I would like to add that you have this 30% rule during your first 5 years working in the Netherlands. Okay, and you have to apply for it. So it also depends of your profile and of your on your profile and your background. But you can always try to apply for it. And normally, if you came from abroad and you are going to be considered here as a highly educated person, you are going to get it for 5 years.
Perfect. And she's also asking, what is the living wage in the Netherlands? The minimum living wage?
That really depends.
You know?
There's not one figure to mention about that, because when you live in the Randstad, so in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Den Haag area, it's way more expensive than, for example, living in the rural areas, the smaller cities or the villages around those cities. So it really depends on where you will work or how far you want to live from the city, what kind of luxury you're used to, how big your apartment should be, if you're willing to share a room or an apartment with someone else. So it really depends on your own standards.
This is related to one of the questions arise right now from Eva. How much is the rent? I mean, supposing that it's, for example, Amsterdam or Rotterdam or one of these key cities, no? How much is the rent compared to the salary, more or less, which percentage?
I can speak from my own experience, and I can say that if you want a nice apartment for yourself, I think the prices are between 900 and 1,300. Of course, as Dre already mentioned, it depends of the luxury that you want to have. But yes, I think you cannot find an apartment or a house, a rent, for less than 800, 900. I think, yes, and in cities as Eindhoven, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, I think it's around that. Of course, if you want and you are open to share an apartment, you share costs, and this became 400 or 500. But yes, but one point that I would like also to mention on this topic is that I was very surprised when I arrived here that the price that you can pay for a rent for an apartment and the price that you pay for a rent for a house is they are pretty similar. There is not a big difference if you want to rent a house or rent an apartment. So the apartments are quite expensive as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. And Christian is having also a very good question. Which are the main points or characteristics, especially about soft skills, that the Dutch companies value the most?
I can mention something about that. I think a few things that you will see in basically every job description is people who are flexible. So don't only think about their own ambitions, but also would like to consider how they can help the company grow. And the other thing I think is being proactive. Don't sit and wait until opportunities come your way, but also try to seize them yourself. Try to spot how can you develop yourself, how can we develop the company, and don't wait until your supervisor or your boss is telling you what to do. So some proactive approach, and try to interact with the people around you. I think communication skills, social skills can really help you develop yourself in your job. So I think that are the three: being proactive, being flexible, and also try to be sociable with your colleagues.
Yes, and pragmatic as well, practical, going to the point. Once again, they really valorize that, I think.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. We have a mail that say, I would like to know if a Latin qualified professional who needs a sponsorship for the work permit could be an option for joining the Dutch.
Yes, the easy answer is yes. But it will also, of course, depend from company to company. And we have big international companies in our network. They are quite used to hire people within Europe or from outside Europe. And we already explained about becoming a knowledge migrant in our country. There are certain rules that you have to comply to, but for the rest, yes, there are surely options for that.
Great. This is Mel is the person who's doing the question, who's asking. And now we have one from Gabriela. What documentation is required to move to the Netherlands? Documentation. I suppose it depends. She doesn't say where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, your ID or passport. Oh, yes, it's interesting, this question. Good question, because I remember they asked me for my certificate, like the family book. How we call this? Like, I think you understand if I say the family book, like the certificate of your birth. Do you understand what I mean, right? So they ask you for that. So you have to go to the community hall of your city and to get this paper, if it's possible, if in English, French, or Dutch. So this, the ID.
And again, it would also depend where you come from, because when you live in Europe, in the EU zone, then of course you are allowed to work in the Netherlands without any extra permits or visas or whatever. So from all the people listening in from Spain, you are free to come and work in the Netherlands. Of course, you do need to register in the city hall, but that's basically it. So yeah, it will depend on the person, on the situation.
Yes, it depends, but well, once again, we need to see its case, and we are going to guide you and help you out. Then once you arrive here, you have to, of course, open a bank account. You have to show your job contract, and well, but this is as every country, it's different.
Great. And there is another question regarding nowadays with the pandemic, with the health crisis here in the world. I mean, if it's easy to find an opportunity in the Netherlands with the situation. How are you facing a little bit the situation? They are also asking what's going on there. No, what is the situation now? Also
a really good question, and we have experienced it ourselves. It really depends on the industry, basically. Because, for example, the Brainport area that I mentioned in Eindhoven, ASML and other highly innovative companies who have focused on development plans for years, they are basically running their business as it is a normal time. So those companies are still hiring people. Of course, they might have first a focus on the Netherlands, since that's easier with the restrictions that are continuously changing now with COVID from country to country. But basically, those industries are doing quite well. On the other hand, we also see industries which are having more tough times. And the first thing that a company will do in tough times is, of course, try to put a hold on hiring new people. You first try to focus on the people that you have in your company and make sure that they can still do their job and the company will survive in these tough times. But looking at the end, I think COVID is temporary. We all hope that, of course. So eventually we will go back to the normal days. There are still lots of vacancies. We are still recruiting for our companies and for our customers. So even though there is a little bit limitations on the amount of vacancies, there are still sufficient chances here.
Mm-hmm. Great. There is another question. Is Felipe, are there some opportunities for to work for Dutch companies, but for positions that are based abroad, but from Dutch companies?
Good question. Yes, there are, but then the question is if we can help you out with that, because normally we are working with Dutch-based customers. And if they ask us, JoinTheDutch, can you help us in hiring somebody who will be, for example, working from Spain, but working for a Dutch company? Yeah, then the question is, do you join the Dutch? No, you basically don't join the Dutch, but you join a Dutch company. So then probably someone in Spain is of a better support because they know that local labor market and they can help out that local office, of course, if they have an office over there. So it's less likely, I would like to say, but I don't think it's impossible.
Mm-hmm. And there are two questions that are connected. They would like to know if you help people to apply for the discount on taxes that you have and the paperwork that you have already explained, I think, a little bit. And also if you help on finding out different channels or opportunities to find a house, to find an apartment, etc. If you join the Dutch, is helping also on all these type of things.
Yes, of course, as we already mentioned, JoinTheDutch is going to help you mainly with your job research before you come here. But of course, once you are here or once you are planning to come here, we can provide you with some support in terms of administration, as you already mentioned, the taxes for the 30% ruling or finding a house. Well, JoinTheDutch is a new project that we are now developing, but of course it's in our plans and is already in our plans to help international people with this kind of topics, housing, administration, Dutch courses, whatever. So of course the answer is yes. Yeah. We have this knowledge, so we would like to share it with you.
And I like to add to that, it will also be helpful that some companies already are quite familiar with these processes.
Yes.
So of course the company can also guide you and help you in that matter. So there are two persons who can help you. We can help you in the full process, and I think mainly in finding that right job. When you found that job and you sign a contract with a company, also the company will help you out. And talking about housing, we don't have any houses that we can rent you.
No.
Of course, we can explain you how the renting process looks like, which cities are more likely to find a house, which websites you can use. We do have a network here, so yes, we will guide you in the process, but eventually, of course, it's also up to yourself. What are your expectations? And you also have to help us out in that matter a bit.
Yes, I think that's a word. We can guide you, and also, as Ray already said, here in the Netherlands, in my opinion, the onboarding process that you get from the companies is very well organized. So they are the company to help you out with that once you start working for them. So, but we are always in the back to support you.
Great. I'm so sorry because we don't have more time. We have many questions. I think there are a lot of people interested in you.
So, and maybe you can send them by email. We were more than happy to answer all the questions that are still left. And again, if people have questions that are not being asked, you know where to find us. You have our website, and we are more than happy to help.
Super. Thank you so much for joining, for participating in Job Barcelona and for this conference. Dre and Anna, we wish you the best and see you next time.
Yes, see you next time.
Thank you and stay safe.
Everyone. Just keep healthy and good day to all of you.
Thank you very much
for joining.
Tot ziens.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.